Hello guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you the things to consider when building a responsive layout. I'll be showing you majorly the difference between width, max width and minimum width, because these are properties that should be considered when you're building a responsive layout. So let's have HTML elements. Let's use section this time around. If you have a section and we have a paragraph inside this section, and we have, let's just put something in. Let's just say paragraph, or this is a paragraph. Let's have something like this. Okay, let me zoom my browser. Okay, I have this as a paragraph, right? Okay, if I grab this paragraph tag from the CSS, if I have section and I have my paragraph tag, and I want to specify the width of this paragraph tag. If I give it a width of, let's say I'm giving this a width of 1000 pixel. I start with that. I'm giving this a width of 1000 pixel. Okay, and let's give it a background. If I give this a background color of, let's say, red. Okay, and I scroll. Can you see this is scrollable? This is scrollable, and it's disgusting because on smaller devices this is how it's going to look. So if I expand the browser, it might render fine because the browser might be up to, okay, you see the scroll bar is getting wider. Okay, so that is it. If it's on a larger screen size, it will be awesome, but if it's on a small screen size, it's not so much making sense. Okay, so what we can do is to set this to max width. If we set this to max width and we say 1000 pixel and we reload this, do you see that despite setting this to 1000 pixel, it's not having a horizontal scrollable bar? Did you see that? That on smaller devices, on this small device, this small browser, can you see that it's not having a scroll bar? So if I expand, it continues to expand along. You see how responsive it is. Okay, so that's one of the things you must consider in building a responsive layout, the width. And you can also add this for height. In most cases, height are not too sensitive because naturally people scroll their phone vertically. So, but you can also have that for height. If you have a height of, let's say, 1000 pixel, if you have a height of 1000 pixel, okay, can you see that? So instead of this height, if we set this to max height, 1000 pixel, can you can you see it's not putting that? It's not putting this 1000 pixel in there because heights are not so compulsory when building a responsive layout in the body. Now, not in a particular sections like navbar or footers. Okay, so max width is something you must consider, and there is another one called the minimum width. The minimum width is in a way related or looks like the normal width without the max. Okay, if I have width 1000 pixel, this is scrollable, right? If I also have max width or min width rather, if I have min width now, can you see this is still scrollable? Okay, it's just like the width. What the min width is saying, the minimum width you should render, or the minimum width for this element to be rendered in the browser must be 1000 pixel. And what the max width is saying is the max, let's change this to max width now, saying the max width for this in every browser should be, no matter what, should be 1000 pixel. But if there is no space, that's what the max width means. If there is no space, you can make it not to be 1000 pixel. If we expand this browser, for example, if we are able to expand it and it gets to 1000 pixels and it no longer have a horizontal scrollable page, you notice it doesn't even fill the whole browser anymore, because when it gets to 1000 pixel, even if there is this space, it won't stretch beyond 1000 pixel. Okay, that's the difference. The same thing for minimum height. When you set the minimum height, you're saying I don't want this thing to be smaller than this. If I set minimum height for this, said no matter what, I don't want this height to be shorter, or I don't want this element to be shorter than 1000 pixel. Okay, and another thing I want to show you in this video to consider when building a responsive layout is units. It's units. You can have units like pixel, you can have units like centimeters, you can have units like inches, and all these units are called absolute length units because they don't depend, or they don't rely, they are independent. They don't rely on their parent container to decide their own sizes. Okay, so if I set this to 1000 pixel, even if the section As far as if the section have a space up to 1000 pixel, it will be inside it, it will contain it. Okay, so let's say the section, for example, let's set the section to, let's say you want to set the section to, let's say 200 pixel. Oh, sorry, 200 pixel now, and I just want to delete the minimum height. Okay, we have the width to be 200 pixel, right? Okay, so if we have the max width, let's make use of width right now. Okay, can you see, despite setting the width of the parent container to 200 pixel, I'm setting this to a width of 1000 pixel. Can you see that it defines the width of the container of the mother? Okay, because this is the parent. I said mother. Okay, this is the parent. Okay, the section is a parent to this p tag over here. Despite the parent being 200 pixel, I set the child to 1000 pixel, and it's still extending across the size of the parent. But let's say we have that's units like pixel, inches, and centimeters. Okay, they are absolute length units. They are independent of their parent in most cases. But if you have units like the rem, the percent, and the view width or view height, let's say we set this to, let's say we want to set this to 100%. Okay, I'm setting the width of this to 100% now. This is not horizontally scrollable because I'm saying take up the whole width of your parent container of this section over here, and if I have this to be, let's say 80%, can you see? Okay, this is 8%. Okay, 80%. Can you see? I'm saying take 80% of this container over here, and if I have something like rem, for example, though the rem doesn't take the width or the size of the parent container, it takes note of the width and the size of the root element, and the root element is the HTML element over here. This one at the top over here, that is the root element. Okay, so if you have something like rem, if I have something like 2rem, what I've just specified in this is 32 pixel. Okay, I've just specified 32 pixel for this. If I make the width of this 32 pixel, it's going to be the same thing as this, because the default font size for the root element is 16 pixel. Okay, so what I just did is I did this font, I gave this to rem, it's in relation, or it's related to the root element. Okay, so that's another one. You can have something like m also, but this is used mostly in the case of fonts. When you set something to m, let's say 1m, you're saying I want you to be the font size of your parent. Okay, when you set it to 2, I want you to multiply the font size of the parent by 2. Okay, so these are one of the things to consider when building a responsive layout, because they are so necessary that when you master these, you are able to manipulate how you want your website to be responsive. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. Thank you. See you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.